And recording.
I hate you. I hate you so much. Did you hit record when you said that, or when you said 3, 2, 1?
I hit it, and then I said, and recording.
You know it takes me a while to sync these things up, right? Like I have to... I do hours
Does that
of work
not
on
help?
this damn show.
I was trying to help. I'm really sorry.
Whatever. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whatever you are doing, whatever is happening in life, whether you are in the absolute peaks of the peaks and the highs of the highs or in the lowest of the lows.
Whether you love your podcast co-host or you hate your podcast co-host, we're glad you're here.
I was going to cut that part out, Dom, of me telling you off, but apparently I have to keep that in now. Whatever is going on in your life, we are glad that you are here having an appropriate amount of soup with us, with myself, Shannon, with the ever unflappable Dom. I keep saying unflappable, and he doesn't even have wings.
I don't flap.
Hey? He's never flapped, not once. Don't ask him to, he won't do it. And on this podcast, we talk about novels we're writing, novels we're reading, and dumb ideas about other people's novels. And on the topic of novels that we are writing or stories that we're writing, one of the issues that I've come up with recently was around this whole concept of accidental theft. I've taken a bit of a topic. Well, let me reversing. That's reversing sounds.
I thought it was more.
I was writing. That's why you're the sound effect man, and I'm just here doing the hosting bit.
Okay.
So make some more sound effects on me.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
He's good. He's good. That's what I brought him here for. All right. So I was writing a short story, and I had this idea for an ending, and usually I'm one of those endings first, work backwards type of characters. And I had this, it was a fantasy story, and I wanted to go with the hero trope, the fates, and I've been reading a lot of Greek myths, so I'm thinking, all right, literal fates have spoken to this character and told them, you are the hero, you are the chosen one, you're going to go and fight the big bad eternal emperor that's been ruling over this land and created the darkness, and they're a bad guy, etc., etc. And then the hero eventually goes through their trials and comes to the big bad emperor type character. And the confrontation comes where the hero comes in and looks at them. And then the emperor is just annoyed more than anything. Just like head in hands. How many of you guys are they going to send? How many times are we going to do this? The fates keep sending people to me. They keep picking another chosen one, and I kill them, and then they send another one. And then I kill them, and then they send another one. And I had this moment where I'm like, wow, I am so original, so fantastic. Look at this. I've subverted this trope expertly.
No one's ever come up with that before. That's amazing.
No one's ever thought to do that. And then I went to bed and woke up the next day and like, that's been done 1,000 times. I am not going to write this stupid story. Hey, Dom, any experience being an idiot?
Oh, so much experience. I think it's an interesting question, especially writing in the realm of fantasy. One sometimes feels like all the good ideas have been done. And so, I'm hearing what you're saying. That is a trope that has been done before, but the fact that it's been done a number of times shows that there's nuance to it. So maybe you could do it well.
Yes.
Maybe not. Maybe it would just be a straight rip-off. I had an interesting thing where I've written this, very, classic fantasy Dungeons and Dragons-y novel. And I finished it and I put it down and I went, oh, it's about a musician at a university with strange, unexplained magic powers and a tragic family history falling in love. It's Patrick Rothfuss's Name of the Wind. Damn it. And I actually went and peeked through it. And there are a lot of similarities, I'll grant you. But I like to think my story is less about the tragic hero and just about a cool dude. I'm not going for that. I feel like fantasy of late has gone through quite a dark phase.
Absolutely.
Like, have you read any Joe Abercrombie? The Blade itself, The Last Argument of Kings.
Yeah, I've read snippets.
Yeah.
I haven't read full novels,
Absolute.
but I'm aware of the.
Yeah, absolutely brilliantly written, amazing, awful books that you get to the end of and go, I hate everything. Like, I read fantasy as an escape. And you read this and it gets to the end and you go, wow, that is a really awful dystopian ending. Oh, wow, how much like the existence we actually live in. So I'm just trying to... the way I'm subverting the current paradigm of fantasy is just by having a classic hero who, sure, bad things are going to happen to him, but he's actually ace.
Yeah, so you've just basically taken the hero's journey or Hero with 1,000 Faces, that textbook of writing, and just copy and paste.
But pretty much, yeah.
That'll do.
Yeah, I like to think it like Mad Libs. I've basically taken the heroic fantasy Mad Lib and just like, the hero's name is, insert made up fantasy name. Yes, done. And he is a insert classic Dungeons and Dragons class. Yes, he is. And then he goes on and he wins the girl and kills the baddies and he's awesome.
Yeah, well, I might actually do this. I might, maybe on a classics episode, I'll do a bit of a deep dive because from my upbringing at least, very Christian household and looking at a lot of narrative from that Christian perspective, and then you can see those influences in Tolkien and definitely C.S. Lewis and the like, and that hero's journey incorporates parts of that Christ-like character. But a lot of those tropes obviously go further back when you start looking at Greek myth, Roman myth, and even more, the Mesopotamian sort of thing. So it might be interesting to go back and actually trace the hero's journey, where it comes from, and just then take the tropes at their oldest possible stages and then just write some absolute slosh based on that.
That sounds amazing.
Let's do it. I see you writing. Are you writing a note?
Yep, I'm writing a note.
Rip off Mesopotamian
That's
myth.
exactly what I just wrote. Mesopotamia, because I wanted later in the podcast to say, by the way, nice use of the word Mesopotamia, but you've ruined it now. Bad use of the word Mesopotamia, Shannon. You failed.
Welcome to Mesopotamia FM. All Gilgamesh, all day. It's the only Mesopotamian myth I can think of off the top of my head.
Marduk was the other one. Was that Mesopotamia or was
that
that
is the other
Babylonian?
one.
Gosh, we are such nerds. Anyway, what do we do on this podcast apart from talk absolute drivel at each other?
Just nonsense.
So, okay, question.
Tell me.
So you wrote the short story, or you worked out the end of the short story, decided it was too thefty. You know what I like about the word plagiarism? It's like
It's plagiarism.
Plagiarism. It's not plagiar. It's just plagiarism, like plagiarish. Did you come up with another story, or you just gave up and left?
I gave up on it, Dom.
Oh, I'm sad.
Yeah,
man.
I threw that. That's my process. I'll sit down, I'll write a couple thousand words, I throw it in the bin, and I hate myself, and I go for a walk.
Why don't you try and write a story about how you feel about yourself? It's this dark age of fantasy, Shannon.
Look, I usually feel quite positive about myself. It's just after I write for a while. It's after I do something I enjoy, then I feel bad.
Yeah, I understand.
But when I'm doing things I don't enjoy, I feel good.
Yeah, it's the idolatry of suffering. It's real. If this sucks, I must be a good person.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds like you too had a good Puritan Christian upbringing. Yay!
I sure did. And the worst part is, we didn't even get all the cool buckles that the pilgrims got. I want a hat with a buckle on it.
You know what modern Christianity lacks? Buckles.
Buckles. Yeah. We got drum kits, no buckles.
Yeah, I know. I think we threw the buckle out with the bathwater.
It just bucked right off.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Anyway.
What
we do on this podcast is we take someone's novel and we read out the first chapter, or we summarize the first chapter. Today we're going to read the first chapter because it was a short one, but generally we summarize. And then we just construct the story from there. And today we are going to look at Evac by Eddy Beck. And Eddy Beck is not one person, Dom. Do not for a moment think that Eddy Beck is a single person. If you do that, you'll be wrong.
I was so wrong.
Did you think one person?
I did. I foolishly thought it was a man named Edward Beck.
Nope.
Oh. Tell me more.
Yeah. Eddy and Beck, two people, Eddy and Beck, they met on Reddit. Eddy is a British sci-fi enthusiast with a master's in European literature from Cambridge University. He has had one short film produced, and I'm going to be honest with you, Dom. Where I'm reading this from, off another page on my browser, I can't remove a thing that is covering up the next part of the sentence.
Give it another shot.
I can't. Life is bad. Things are bad. Everything hurts.
The team at An Appropriate Amount of Soup are currently experiencing technical difficulties. We would like to apologize for any inconvenience, and we hope to have the show back to you momentarily.
Eddy and Beck met on Reddit. Eddy is a British sci-fi enthusiast with a master's in European literature from Cambridge University, so he's fancy. He has had one short film produced. His hobbies include improv and bass guitar, where Beck is an American and a romance novel devotee. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology from Brigham University in Idaho.
Brigham Young University.
Say it again?
Brigham Young University.
What did I say?
Brigham.
I put an N in, which didn't belong.
BYU, mate. I've actually seen them play football. So there. Moving on. Yeah.
Which perfectly explains her day job, managing a pizzeria. Now, I got this email with this biography from Eddy. And Eddy, mate, just you and I, between us, I really hope that you got Beck's permission before you sent that one.
Before slandering her like that.
Because, and I had that as we talk about religion and stuff earlier. So I have a Bachelor of Arts in Christian Ministry, and I remember on the day that I received that, and I was all happy and excited I finished a university degree, my brother looked at me and he said, "Shannon, you're going to be the best damn fry cook in the world."
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, mate. And, I do cook a mean burger, so that's good.
Yeah, what did the arts graduate say to the science graduate?
What did they say, Dom?
Would you like fries with that? Ba-dum-tsh.
It's painful because it's true.
Yeah.
It came from beyond the stars. The stars in the sky, not the ones on reality television. It came from beyond the star. Oh, wait. I suck today.
Oh, don't feel bad. You suck every day.
Love you, Dom.
Love you too, buddy.
It came from beyond the stars. The stars in the sky, not the ones on reality television. When the folks on Neptune glanced up from their screens long enough to notice there was a new something or other in orbit, they didn't know what to make of it. Zealots claimed the gods were intent on destroying what they had made. Politicians blamed their rivals, whose shoddy performance while in government was the root of every social evil. I knew better. We were witnessing a glitch in the code I'd created. The twilight of the gods offered an invitation to antisocial behaviour. After an afternoon of rioting and looting, everyone retired to their apartments to watch their brand new holo sets and listen to their Dolby louder than life. Trademarked. They were expecting to learn the truth about the celestial object, which someone ought to have figured out by now. Instead, the news showed rioting and looting and the police chief vowing to make arrests. Viewers felt complacent about crime and indignant at how overweight and old they had been made to look. Surely the footage had been doctored. Once their 15 minutes of infamy were over, folks ordered pizza and binged all 9 seasons of the reality TV show Spaceship Howler. Every viewer had their favourite among the stars, the ones on the show, not the ones in the sky. Topping the bill were Bridget, the beautiful, resourceful pilot, Hercules, the small, charming bodyguard, and Basilton, the aged, curmudgeonly cook. Guest stars and disposable red shirts made up the rest of the cast, but Bridget, Hercules, and Basilton received the majority of screen time and fan gifts. The studio constantly needed something new for the cast to do in front of the drone cameras. Letting them go about their business was good enough for avid fans. Daily life aboard the Howler, the ship named for the spectacularly loud and distinct noise it made during takeoff, was chaotic enough to lure the most indifferent viewer into a parasocial relationship. No market share was big enough to satiate the producers' megalomaniac dreams. They would settle for nothing less than total domination of every channel and streaming platform, and to get there they needed constant spectacle, senseless violence, and mindless merchandising. They went too far when they decided to destroy the Howler at the end of Season 9. No one was seriously injured in the crash, and what was left of the ship was sold off on the murky info/net. Nevertheless, the damage was done. The Howler franchise was as good as over. Since Bridget was a pilot, studio executives blamed her for the so-called accident. According to one press release, she was deeply mortified and more desperate than ever to prove herself a capable pilot and commander. It was Anton Reisender, the show's director, who first stated the obvious. The item in the sky, whatever it was, had the makings of a 10th season. A day trip into Neptune's orbit. Would be cheap and quick and easy. There would be no starships, any old shuttle would do. And if all went well, not that that made good reality TV, there would be no Howlers either. So that is the first chapter. Dom, what happens in the second chapter?
Well, clearly, chapter 2 begins as an agent, not like a secret agent, but like, you know, a what do you call it? Meteor agent?
Yeah, that'll do.
Knocking on the door of the penthouse apartment of the pilot, whose name I've already forgotten.
Bridget?
Bridget. I was thinking Brittany, so I wasn't far off. Okay, knocking on the door. And is let in by one of Bridget's many factotums. Because despite the fact that the show's been cancelled and she's obviously taken the blame, she's rich as all everything from 9 seasons. Doing very well for herself. And what we are shown is this interesting parallels or juxtaposition between the character Brittany on the show.
Bridget.
Who is this? Bridget.
Who is Brittany
Yes.
in her real life.
Who is Brittany in real life. Yep. So Bridget, and she's this lovable, hard-working pilot who, you know, adorable sort of Mary Sue girl next door image. And we come in and find out that she is like this foul-mouthed, scathing diva, screaming at... She's a Brittany. Screaming at her staff, demanding stuff, swigging bottles of champagne, throwing the bottles of champagne after she's swigged from them, demanding another one. And this sort of, basically the agent is following her through her penthouse apartment, through this swathe of destruction that she's creating, trying to propose to her.
That's nice. They're going to get married.
That she comes back for another season.
That's good too.
And she's just like swearing at him, telling him to F off because she doesn't want any part in it. And then it gets to the end of the chapter and he says to her the one thing that could convince her, that she didn't think that'd say it, that I didn't think she should know. And he says to her, David knows what's happening. He'll be there. Who's David, Shannon?
So, David, he's the guy that's going to be there.
Oh, sweet.
Obviously.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
And where there is also part of this. They're on Neptune, aren't they?
Well, they're going to Neptune to see the new thing that has appeared.
Right. Okay. So David's going to be on Neptune, and David is the great grandson of Ryan Seacrest. It's David Seacrest, and he is known like for his same as his great grandfather.
You can't have a good reality TV show without
You
a
can't have
Seacrest.
one without a Seacrest. That was they learnt that in the year 2203.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was. I think that was Barry Seacrest at that time.
Yeah, who on his maternal grandmother's side, Barry Manilow, the paternal was Ryan Seacrest. So that was
amazing.
That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So anyway, David Seacrest is hosting the new reality show to end all reality shows. They're incorporating this object, this mysterious object, and it's quite like. Did you ever see Geraldo Rivera's Al Capone's Vault?
Oh, the Vault. I didn't watch it, but I remember what happened.
All right, so they're doing that basically. For anyone who doesn't know, this would have been, I don't know if this was 90s or 80s. I've seen this in hindsight.
80s,
I saw it as an adult, so I was watching it after it happened. So Al Capone had a whole bunch of spoilers. Yeah, for this ancient news report. It was found that Al Capone had a vault just locked up. No one had been in it. And then I think Geraldo Rivera's, is he Fox? Or is one of the news programs in the States? Or was? And they had this ongoing thing where they were going to show what was inside the vault. And they went over it for months, days, weeks, I don't know, hours. They told you about it, and then an hour later they did it. They advertised it, right? It's fine. So they advertised this thing, they opened the vault, nothing in there. And that is, I'm setting up what's going to happen in our story. That's what's happening currently with David
Spoiler
Seacrest.
alert.
There is a lot going on with this object in the sky. They're like, no, we are going to go and we're going to send a ship there. We're going to land there. We're going to open this thing up because it's just like a big old rock hole type thing. We're going to drill into it. We're going to look what's on the inside. Spoilers, it's going to be nothing. And that's the only thing that everyone is focusing on right now. We want to get all of our celebrities off of these various planets within our solar system, ship them up to this big old rock in the sky and explore it because, entertainment, baby. That's what we're doing. And Bridget Brittany, old BB here, she's wanting to be a part of this. And so she goes off to find David on Neptune so she can reclaim her role within the reality TV landscape, reclaim her fame, come back to reality. Hey?
Let's see what you did there.
Back to reality. Where's the applause?
Spaghetti.
I'll put applause in post.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. And lift her social stock. So that's what she's off to do. So she gets in the spaceship and she goes there, and her agent has landed her a meeting with David Seacrest. What happens, Dom, when BB meets David Seacrest?
Well, she doesn't yet. Hold your horses, Shannon.
Holding. The horses are held.
So she gets off her shuttle. It's not a spaceship, Shannon. Spaceships are for traveling between stars.
Uh-huh.
It's a space shuttle for shuttling between planets. So she gets off her space. Yeah, we're done here.
Okay.
We apologise for this interruption. So she gets off her ship and she's walking through the corridors of Neptune base. And she's very excited to meet old David Seacrest because he's the, what do you call it? Like the golden touch. If a Seacrest is involved, everyone succeeds. So she clearly wants to be a part of it. And so she's walking along the corridor and a bunch of kids, space children, as they're known, come and distract her agent. And he ends up getting separated from her as they're walking through like this absolutely Star Wars-esque mall, cantina area, food court. And she looks around and she can't see her agent, but she's hungry. And
just keep going. I'm just going to put the music underneath. Yeah. So just
yeah.
go.
Okay, so she.
No, don't stop. Don't stop. No.
I can't. The music.
You keep going.
Okay.
Shut up.
Okay. So she goes and she orders some reconstituted tofu stuff, and we get a little bit of exposition about what's happened on Earth and how so much food is now just genetically engineered slop, retextured and reflavored. But this is her favorite type of retextured slop. And so she's eating that, and while she's eating, a robed figure comes and sits next to her. She can't really see who it is. They're wearing a cowl. That's a clue. Remember that. We'll come back to that. And
got it.
Turns to her and says, if you're going to get involved with Seacrest in this production, you need to be on your guard. Things are going to go strangely. It'll be like Mesopotamia. Look over there. And she looks over there and sees her agent is coming. And then she looks back. The man in the cowl. Gone. What happens next, Shannon?
Bunch of stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
A couple of people talking. It's like, it's Hollywood, baby, but Neptune Hollywood. So the agent takes BB and she kind of disregards the cow-robed figure. She's just like, I'm going to put that on the back burner for now, and it's probably going to be like an Act 3 type situation. And then, the agent is like, what? And she's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's a narrative piece. And so they go off, and they see David Seacrest, and he's not nice, He's not. You think he might be because you see Ryan Seacrest now, and he seems okay. I don't know what he's like behind the scenes, but on camera, he seems friendly. But behind the scenes, David Seacrest, I'm not saying anything about Ryan Seacrest. I've never met him. I haven't. And those rumors need to stop. I've never met Ryan Seacrest. Not once. I don't even live in the same country.
I did not have relations with that man.
Nothing's happened. I've never even sent an email. Anyway, so David Seacrest, though, like they meet up, and he's kind of a bit of a grumble bum. He's all grumpy. He's not pleasant. But despite that, he sees something in Bridget Brittany. So, you know what? What I see in you is money. You were the star of this hit television program, The Howler, and you did so well for yourself. And we are about to send some people up to this mysterious object that is orbiting. And hey, wouldn't you know it? Do you know who we happen to be sending? And BB, she's like, no, I have no idea who you're planning to send. This is the first time I've had this conversation. And he's like, okay, well, there's a gentleman by the name of Hercules and another gentleman by the name of Basilton. You might know them. You spent 10 years working in television with these two people. They're on this flight with their pilot, a gentleman by the name of Ian. And he is the pilot. He's a roped figure. I don't know if you've met him before, but he flies the best damn spaceship, and he wears the best damn robe this side of Uranus. And so she's like, yeah, okay, actually, no, I do want to be a part of that. And so they do a whole bunch of... There's 20 chapters of paperwork. That's what happens next. And it goes through very specific detail. It goes across to solicitors, and they go over it, and it goes back and forth between the agent and the legal team. And it's tedious. I don't know why it was put in here, but it's in the book. And then after all that part is done...
You're inventing.
Yeah. That I'm inventing. No, the real book's much better than my nonsense.
Much more paperwork.
Yeah, it's only legal documents.
Just a collation.
Yeah. It's all legal templates. You can actually just download them and fill in the. It's like Mad Libs for. Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, all the documentation gets done. She gets on the spaceship. She sees her old friends. They're all like, "Hey." She's like, "Hey," and Ian's there. And he's like, "Hey." They're like, "Hey," and then they set off. Dom. Then what happens?
Well, so she's a little surprised because she thought that Ian. Two things have surprised her. Point number one, that they have a pilot. She's the pilot. Why have they got a pilot? Why is the pilot named Ian? That's her first question. She was the plucky pilot who, flew them out of trouble on Alpha Centauri Beta. She was the one who dive-bombed the Sklarlathians on Venus 3. Why would they get another pilot? But then she thought, it's a guy in a robe. Maybe it's the weird guy that I met in the cantina. And this little bit of music plays just to show us that it's that cantina.
There is music in a book. There is music in a book. Yeah.
And, but it's not. It's actually a very short, skinny man who just is into robes. It's just what he does. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not the pilot. I'm a pilot whale. Because, of course, and this confusion happens a lot, because genetic engineering has progressed so far, Ian was, originally, his last body, he was a pilot whale.
Yeah, of course he was.
Because that's what he wanted to do. But before that, do you know what he was?
I don't care.
He was a crab.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. Okay, so that's an easy mistake to make. And he's there. He's like, I think I'm here.
Can we stop? Stop. No. Not a second further. Dom.
Yeah.
I want you to take me through the evolutionary processes that lead from crab to pilot whale.
Oh, it's not evolutionary. It's engineering.
Because it goes the other way, Dom. Everything become crab. You've gone backwards.
Oh, he was human. So, okay. Time out. And this is a little asterisk, and you go to the end of the book. It's a footnote. Don's explanation of what happened. This is the explanation. The ability of the human race to manipulate biology has reached a point where people are basically allowed to choose their existence in any way they see fit, if they have enough money. So Ian was the son of a wealthy scion who had a lot of money. And when Ian graduated high school, his parents said, well, what do you want to be? And he wasn't the brightest spark. And they were thinking CEO of one of our companies, or maybe you want to be a banker or something. And he said, I want to be a crab. And they took him at his word. And so they were able to resequence his genetic material and basically put the mind of Ian, at this point an 18-year-old boy, into the body of an obscenely large crab. Mm-hmm. And he crabbed around for a while, because one of the benefits of being a crab, quite long-lived. Crabbed around for a few decades, loved it, it was great, and used that time to develop a written language for crabs so that he was able to communicate, because shortly after becoming a crab, he decided he didn't want to be a crab, but he couldn't communicate this. Don't worry, 60 years later, he's developed a written language, and he writes a note to his now niece, who's taken over the family business because his parents are dead. Horrible crab-related accident. We don't talk about that.
But not related to Ian.
Writes... No, nothing to do with Ian. And writes a note saying, I don't want to be a crab. I want to be a pilot whale now. So, because they love Ian, because he's the son, bang, it's a pilot whale. Because, as I said, human engineering has developed a point where you can basically sequence any mind into any physical capacity. Anyway, he becomes a pilot whale. He's, like I said, not really bright. He actually thought pilot whales were whales that flew aeroplanes. No, not the case. So, but fortunately, it didn't take him that long to communicate this, because other advances in science had made it so that humans were actually able to communicate with whales. So very quickly, he's able to go, don't want to be a whale, I want to be a person again, can I have my body back? Gets his body back.
I just want to, why didn't you just say that in the first place? Well,
because I just thought it took away from the narrative. And
it's kind of a given, isn't it?
it'd be better as an appendix. So anyway,
Okay.
the whole reason that Ian's there is that he has very rich parents who indulge him. And so they've paid for him to be on the reality TV show. But
Right.
anyway, all that aside, Bridget Brittany gets to the shuttle, and Hercules and, what's his name, Basilton?
Basilton. I think so.
Basilton are there, and it's this beautiful reunion. And you just get this, like, little bit of, like, behind the scenes where you hear Basilton and Hercules talking as they're approaching, going, do you reckon she's going to be nice? Or is she going to rip out, oh, hi, how are you, Bridget Brittany? How is she?
She's good. You know, she's had her ups and downs. But yeah, she's all right. I mean, not that she's going to... You know, when someone says, how are you? What they want you to say is good and you.
Yeah, and just leave it
you
there.
You say good.
Good. Yep,
And
then you
then-
can move on.
And then you just do whatever was meant to be done. And that's kind of what's happening here. Like, oh, hey, Bridget Brittany, baby, how we going?
Baby.
Baby.
Oh, I like that. Baby.
Makes you think of Beanie Babies, which Bridget Brittany collects. They're worth a lot more, many thousands of years into the future.
That's lies.
We're currently...
My Beanie Babies were meant to pay for my retirement.
Well, look, we're in a lull. Hold on to them. They can only increase in value from here. They're not going to get any lower.
you think so, and yeah.
Somehow they keep devaluing. How do you get less than a cent? So, look, she's got her Beanie Babies. She's got her Endeavour. she's there. She's like, yeah, guys, I'm good. And they don't believe her, and she doesn't believe herself, but like they all just know what's going on. You know, it's one of those sort of situations. Everyone's unhappy. Because she secretly blames them, you know? Because it wasn't her fault that the Howler was destroyed. Had nothing, like, well, yes, she was the pilot. She was the one that had to take the blame. Someone had to take the blame. And the producers weren't going to. And she knew that, and she respected that. But she didn't think that her co-stars would just go along with it. She thought if anyone was going to stand by her, it was the people that were going to be next to her for 10 years. That could turn around and say, it, like, even something like they don't have to get rid of their own jobs. They don't have to, leave and completely stand behind her. But at least say, oh, maybe there's more to it. It's something. Give her something. She needs that. And it's unfair what they've done. And then Ian comes in and he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm a whale. And she's like, hey, Ian. It's like, so we're almost at this big space rock. It's like, oh, is it a rock, is it? He's like, yeah. So, all right, Ian, calm down, first of all. Second of all, you're a pilot whale, not a pilot. Have you been touching the controls again? He's like, yeah. Can you not? And he gets a bit confused, and he goes back and starts tampering with the controls again. And so BB walks over, and she kind of nudges him aside, and she checks what's going on with the systems, and she's a bit bewildered, a bit upset, a bit shocked, because what Ian has done, he has turned the ship that was on course to go to this orbiting object that is all mysterious, and all the cameras, which are in the ship, by the way, this is all being filmed and televised to good people of Neptune and about our solar system. And he's turned it towards a meteor. And they are currently on a head-on crash course with this giant meteor out in the middle of nowhere. And Dom, I can't remember if it's a meteor or a comet. I know one of them is after it breaks into Earth's atmosphere, and one of them is if it's out in space. I expect you to know this and correct me if I've got this wrong. But they are going up towards this meteor, and they are about to hit it. BB grabs the controls, and something happens.
Okay, so to answer your question, you said, I know one of them's a meteor and one of them's a comet. No.
No.
A meteor is a
Yeah.
piece of space junk that's flying through space.
Uh-huh.
A meteorite is one of them that's hit the orbit of a planet and has been sucked into its gravitational pull.
So then
A
what's the
comet is a large ball of ice orbiting a sun at a range of many millions of light years. For example, Halley's Comet,
Right.
which maybe not millions of light years, that may have been excessive. Halley's Comet comes around the Earth every 76 years or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So it takes its sweet time. Anyway, so what does BB do? She's a pilot. She's been flying ships. She goes, click, turns a wheel, and they just move out of the way of the meteor. Because it's space, and distances are huge. And the chances of them, like, having a dangerous, like, head-on collision course with a meteor without knowing, with heaps of advance, are zero. Despite Ian's incompetence. Yeah, she just turns and goes, Ian, don't touch the controls again. And Ian gets super pouty about this. Like, he's just been mooching around in his robe and, like, eating snacks. And generally just, being annoying and useless and in the background. And she says no. And it is clear Ian's never been told no before. Which should have been clear when we discovered he was a crab and a pilot whale.
Dom.
And is now on a reality TV show. And he cracks a nanny. And it ends up that Hercules, the bodyguard...
Dom.
Yeah.
John Dom. Have we made our own Jar Jar Binks?
No, you've made our own Jar Jar Binks.
I'm sorry.
He's so sorry.
We're not going to do the voice.
No. And so Hercules pacifies Ian and locks him in the room. Locks him in his stateroom. And you can just, hear in the background him wailing and kicking and having an absolute tanty. And Hercules turns to BB and says, BB, I'm so sorry. They said if I didn't go with their story, they would kill Mixie and Jimbleboom, who are Hercules' wife and cat. And cats, there's a little appendix, there's another footnote, goes and it talks about how cats are the most valuable organisms. But we don't have time to go into that. You're just going to have to know that. Cats, incredibly valuable. And they said that if I had to do this show, but that it's really dangerous. I can't believe you agreed to it. And Basilton's there going, I can't believe you agreed to it either. It's so clearly a suicide mission. But, we did it for our family. You clearly have no family because you're a horrible human being when we're not on TV. Why are you doing it? And she goes, what? Well, because the Seacrests are involved. And everything they touch turns to gold. And Basilton goes, everything they touch turns to gold for them. How does BB react to that statement?
She doesn't have the opportunity. There's a television on set and static, first of all, because there has to be static so that you know that someone's going to come and talk, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, you're the sound effects guy. Static?
Yep. Did it work? It
static?
said that it's...
No, hold on. That'll do. I'll fix it in post. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because it actually, my microphone suppresses it. I get a little notice saying too much static, noise suppressed. That's how good my static is.
You're nailing the static.
Mm.
And Seacrest comes on screen. And he's excited. He's a happy Seacrest. And he says to the crew, minus Ian, who's locked away, hey, BB and babies, how we doing tonight? I just wanted to let you all know that you are about 3 minutes away from landing. That's right. We've changed your navigation to make sure you didn't know when you were actually going to arrive. And you are very close, by the way. Despite what Dom might say, you came very close to hitting that meteorite comet. Super close. Anyway, have fun. And it cuts out, but just as it cuts out, Dom, Brittany sees something strange, because for a moment it appears that next to Mr. Seacrest is some sort of robed figure. Hold on. Hold your horses here. I recognize... Nope, not time for that. We've landed. And they land on what the orbiting object was. And they disembark, spacesuited up, of course. They're not just out there and immediately suffocating and dying. They're prepared for this. And it is a bit of rock, bit of ice, a bit of just space junk. But what's really interesting is the biggest part of the space junk is actually structured. It is a man-made object, and while they're investigating it, hold on a tick, that's a space shuttle, not a spaceship, because Dom said I'm not allowed to say that. That's a space shuttle.
Unless they go between stars. Does this one go between stars?
I can't remember which one this one was, but
ships go between stars.
It's the Howler. Or what is left of the Howler. So they go inside into the meteorite comet Howler hybrid. What's inside, Dom? What's inside?
So they walk in and they're back in their old ship, and they know this ship. They spent 10 years in this ship. They know everything about this ship. And they walk in, and the three of them instantly, and Ian's trailing along. He sometimes got out and he's like, oh my gosh, it's the Howler. Wow, this is amazing. And Hercules goes, shut up, Ian, and punches him in the face. And there's zero gravity, so he just tethers him. He ties something to his foot and drags him along. But they know that, like, in the series about the Howler, every episode would have one section in the mess, which is what spaceships call a cafeteria, where they would sit and they would discuss the issues that were facing them. It was one of the favourite bits the viewers knew about. And so they know that that's where they've got to go. They close the doors and they're looking, and it's like they know the Howler got blown up. But this is the Howler. I wish I could remember the word for it, but there's an ancient Japanese art where you get if you break a mug, you like weld it together with gold. And it's like someone's done this with the Howler, that it is somehow even more beautiful than it was, because it is now held together with some strange alloy. And they walk through the Howler, and as they're getting closer to the mess, they can hear a noise coming from there. And it's the theme song from their TV show. Tinny coming through the speakers. And what does it sound like, Shannon? And then George Lucas appears, who's still alive, and goes, I am going to sue you for stealing that song. I wrote that song. How dare you? And they go, yeah, you're right. We need to come up with a new theme song. It's still in court, George. We've been talking about this for literally centuries. Anyway, and they get into the mess, and there's a man. There's a figure with a robe and a cowl. And he beckons them in. He says, he's got to come and sit down. He's got an English accent. It's a little bit familiar, but they don't quite get it. And they come in and they sit down. And he goes, I bet you're wondering, while this is all happening, how did this happen? And who am I? And you've probably got lots of questions. Not you, Ian. No one cares what you think, Ian. You trust fund piece of crap. We hate you. But first I should tell you who I am. And he pulls back the cowl of his robe, and it's Simon Cowell. See, that was the clue. Not a descendant of the actual Simon Cowell, who as he has started today with all the plastic surgery, he has managed to preserve himself with technology for hundreds and hundreds of years. And he is the bane of the Seacrest family. He has spent the last 600 years trying to undermine their hegemony over the reality TV industry. And he says, it's sad that you guys have become pawns in such a big issue, and we're sorry, but we need your help to stop the Seacrests. Stop them from what, Shannon?
And while they're all there, he looks at them. He says, "No, can I do an English accent? How does Simon Cowell sound?
Like an English guy? I don't know.
My instincts are to go Cockney.
He's not Cockney.
He's not Cockney.
Oh, I'm Simon Cowell. He's not Jason Statham. He's very classic English. Classic English. Just like this. I'm Simon Cowell, and I invented the Backstreet Boys, or some boy, but no, It wasn't Emma. Who was it? It was the other ones. And I'm very good at identifying talent, and I'm fascinating. Listen to me.
Right, I'll add English in post. That's fine. So they're all sitting down, and he says to them, I want you to understand something. What we have had is thousands of years of the golden age of reality television. It is something that has become more than any nation, more than any religion, more than any philosophical belief. Humanity is reality television. It influences who we are and what we are. And while you may not understand that, while you may not appreciate that, your lives are still dictated by that, which is how subtle this thing has been. And when the howler broke, it broke not just a spaceship, not just your show, it broke something in the collective psyche. And there is something called, and you may not have heard of this, it's called kintsugi, which is the art of taking gold to fix. Dom, it's not a visual show.
This is gold. This is well done, Shannon. Well done. If I was wearing a hat, I would tip it.
He flipped me off, by the way. We don't have cameras on. Anyway. And so we are going to take the broken shards of reality television and we are going to put them back together. But we are not just going to fix them. We are going to make them something new, better. We are going to change the world. But that damn Seacrest and his friend, and I don't know who that guy is, but he's a jerk. He was Cal. He's acting like me. We're going to stop him. Because what they are doing is allowing this world to break. They are allowing this destruction to happen, and they are profiting off of it. And the world religion, the world politic is reality television. So we are going to fix this damn howler. By the way, I've already done most of it. You just need to put a little fuel into it, and we're going to fly this piece of howler right up the Seacrest. Right up it. And our motley crew, they all look at each other and they go, that's full on. But yeah, right. And Ian's like, so, wait, hold on, what's happening? And they're just shut up, Ian. Shut up. Let's do what we do. And they go and they take fuel out of their own ship, the fuel cells, and they put them into the howler meteorite. And they fire that sucker up. Cal at the controls. And they launch towards Seacrest. But I reckon Seacrest is a response. Do you think so?
I don't think that Seacrest needs a response. Because the thing is, Seacrest is 19 seasons ahead. The power of the Seacrest family has been not just that they know how to produce reality TV, but they are able to predict and influence the future to such a degree that it's not even reality TV. It's not quite scripted in a traditional sense, but their powers of influence are such that they make sure that reality unfolds exactly as they want it. So the Seacrest is on his ship, named the Ryan, after the founder of the dynasty. And it's from his point of view, and he looks and he can see the, what's the ship called that they're on? The Fallow? The Howler. The Howler is...
Wait, hold on. Othello?
No, the Fallow is what I said. Anyway, moving on. The Othello is barreling towards them, and he's just standing there, and he's like got that sort of admiral view. You know, he's looking out at the ship coming towards him. He's standing tall. His hands are behind his back, and all of his assistants are running around with multiple clipboards, freaking the F out. What's going on? It's going to happen. And he just goes, and he holds up his finger and goes, shh. And they all pause because they know this is David Seacrest, who has been known to literally eat assistants alive if they didn't do the right thing. And so they all freeze. And suddenly the Howler starts jigging this way, that way, of course. And this smile comes across David's face. He says, "You do not need to worry. I have this under control. Look to the cameras." And there's cameras in the Howler, even though it's not the original Howler. Somehow he's managed to patch into the rebuilt Kutsuki Howler cameras. And we see into the cockpit. And he goes, pause, go back 3 minutes. A little further. Oh, too far. Okay, that's the spot. And it shows, and the view suddenly changes into the cockpit of the Howler. And Simon Cowell has just said, "Ian, shut up. You shouldn't even be here." And Ian, who is, he has a little tether tying himself to Hercules' belt. And Ian goes, "You idiots." And suddenly he starts morphing, and he starts popping out of his suit. His suit bursts, and there's blood and claws and teeth and a fin, and here's this pilot whale crab symbiote.
Were-dolphin.
Were-dolphin. And he just reaches out with one massive claw, cuts Hercules' heads off. Like, psh, psh. Cal turns around, goes, "BB, Bridget, Brittany, take the wheel. I'll fight this." And leaps, dives across at the Ian Crab pilot whale genetically modified awfulness. And so Basilton is just screaming. What was Basilton's role?
He was a cook.
He was the cook. He's just screaming and pulling out knives and stuff, and just screaming, "Oh my goodness, what do we do? Make a crab bisque?" And meanwhile, they're fighting. Cal and the thing are fighting, but they're flying around and they're bumping in, and what's this? BB's trying to hold it straight, but it's going this way, it's going that way. They're fighting, and then it flashes back to Seacrest in the Ryan, and he's watching the ship, and it's going left, it's going right, it's going up, and it's going down, and then suddenly it levels out, and it's coming straight at them. And what does he say, Shannon?
So we have that one. Thanks, Michael Winslow. I thought but anyway, so we have suddenly Italian Basilton fighting.
No, Hercules. Oh no, Hercules is dead.
Pilot whale. Just cries of "Mamma Mia" coming.
Mamma Mia.
Coming from the distance. as poor BB, she's in the control room. She's flying this thing, and she's flying right at the Ryan. And David can see her on the screen, and he is like, "What are you doing? We went back. We were going to stop this. There is collision that is much sooner than even Dom would predict, because he thinks we're far away, but we're actually quite close and about to crash." 5, we're going to crash. 4, you need to turn away. 3, please. 2. It's Brittany, bitch. Spaceships collide. And there's just stardust and space shuttle debris, meteorite madness, and nothingness across the universe. And the people in Neptune watching at home, because everyone was watching that. Of course you're watching that. They're like, is Ian okay? That's their first question. And the second question is, what did that Simon guy say? Like he was saying something about like reality TV has become the new religion. Reality TV has become the new politic. What is that? And they all go outside as the signal cuts off, and they blink out in the sunlight. I don't know what the sun's like in Neptune. It's probably pretty dim because it's like super
a
far
fair
away
way
from
away.
the sun. Yeah,
But closer than I think.
But closer than Dom thinks. That's right. And their eyes are all adjusted to this. It's been a long time. You know, evolution happens over the course of about 20 years. Like this,
yeah, totally. Especially, look, we have already established the incredibly advanced genetic engineering and biological engineering available to the human race. Continue.
This is right. So the Neptunians go out and they look into the starlight and they turn off their TVs and they go, no, it is time to start a new chapter in a new world, thanks to the sacrifice of the Howler. I would say the end. Dom, do you have anything you would like to...
No, I'm playing the end credits. Yep, end credits in a book. The end. Boom.
Beautiful.
Put a bow in it. Send it back.
Send it back to the Howler.
Send it back to Uranus.
Uranus?
The planet.
Dom?
Oh, gee. Yeah.
Are we geniuses or idiots?
Yes.
Cool. Let's find out how close we got. Neptune is in peril. Washed-out reality TV star Bridget McConnell is trying to live down the accident that ended her show. It wasn't her fault, but try telling that to Howler Studios and its grumpy director. Bridget's co-star Hercules got nothing out of the show, but an ex-wife and a few country guitar licks. That's implied. He wants to make a fresh start as a security man, but his first client is a femme fatale with plenty of backstories on offer, which I guess that would be Ian? Is that... Yeah?
Yeah, sure. He's a femme fatale. Yeah.
Cool. Adam is a man, mostly.
No, that's Ian. Adam, Ian. Yeah.
Adam is Ian.
Sorry.
Right, because he's not just a man, he's also a pilot whale. With a past and a mission to steal secrets for his alien masters, somebody needs to investigate the weird object in the sky before Neptune has to be evacuated. We didn't have that happen in ours, the whole evacuation part, but that, like, obviously that's going on in the background.
We stopped it from happening. Yeah.
Well, we were just hitting the cliff notes. Like, there wasn't time to cover all the detail, but that was a big significant part of our story too. Time is running out, and that's just on the pizza delivery. So look, 100% correct. No notes.
I'm gonna concur, except to say we were very wrong.
Oh yeah, that too. That's part of.
But that's okay. That's okay because even a clock that works is wrong once in a while.
Clocks are wrong, people.
Yeah,
don't believe time. It's a myth.
I think we did better. Like there were some similarities. I think Simon Cowell was the femme fatale. So clearly we messed that up a little bit. Simone Cowell would have been more accurate.
Right.
What do you call, like, is there such a thing as, like, a homme fatale?
Man Mattel.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's femme fatale. Women are dangerous, so we give them a French name. Men are dangerous, we just assume.
Yeah, I think that's one of those sexist parts of just language in general, where if you say a fatale, that's a man, but a femme fatale is a female man killer.
Yeah.
You know, we just assume that the men are the killers.
Yeah, I'm a killer. I could do it.
Go on then.
No, don't want to.
Yeah, see, it's like that guy says about the man and the killing, but the man that doesn't do the killing is the real best killing man. You know?
Oh yeah, that thing.
You know.
So anyway, what kind of soup? What do you think, Shannon? Stop you having a stroke, which is genuinely what it sounds like is happening over there. I thought maybe you'd like some soup. Can you smell toast? Tell me if you can smell toast.
Yeah. So, well, no. I can smell burnt toast. Is that good?
Okay, that's good. No, it's very, very bad. But move on. Let's finish it before you die. Go.
Okay. Like a cheddar soup.
Cheddar soup.
Yep.
Okay.
What's your rating?
I'm gonna have some minestrone with some burnt toast. Initially, I'll be honest, I was a little annoyed that the I'm gonna just finish the podcast because Shannon is literally dying. Could someone please call 000? He lives in Warrigal somewhere. Hey, he's back. Oh, he's alive.
Hey, did you know if you dial 911 in Australia, it still gets you 000?
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
It
Because
still
people were
works.
apparently doing it, so they had to redirect it.
Ugh, people are dumb.
We watch too many American movies.
Yeah, I wonder what happens if you dial 000 in the States. I doubt it redirects because America would be just like, no, you idiot, die. Fair. Anyway, reading the first paragraph, the first chapter, I thought it was a bit short. That would be my criticism. But I thought it did set up a very interesting juxtaposition of life and reality TV, and the marvels of the universe versus the marvels of reality TV. And I honestly think we did a good effort of drawing that out. I actually am proud of our literary ability to lean into that, the ridiculousness of reality TV as opposed to TV. So while we might not have been accurate, I still think we were right. And that's why I'm giving it minestrone with burnt toast.
And on that note, thank you for listening. If you work at Warrigal Hospital, I'll see you soon.
I'm just so glad Warrigal has a hospital.
Yeah, we do, baby.
Last time I went there, it had a shed. And a
that is the
bad
hospital.
coffee shop. Okay, cool.
Shed and the guy with a rusty sword.
Yeah.